Runaway robot.
Welcome back to DieFall episode 40, part 2. Our heroes find themselves outside of the ancient hobgoblin tomb and surrounded by said hobgoblins, all veiled and armed and armored to the teeth, aimed bows at them with javelins, and there seems to be a contingent of them standing at the front directly and probably about 30 to 40 feet away from them. What would you guys like to do?
Well, they look pissed.
Hathol?
Do I recognize any of them?
It's hard to tell with the veils up, but you're more than welcome to try and approach.
Yeah, I'll approach slowly with my arms up.
Yeah, absolutely. As you do so, you see one kind of like give a look and like say something to one of the next, and they go and they kind of like nod, and then one drops the veil, and you see Ital's face just looking. Hathol, what are you doing here?
Ital, it is good to see you. It's such a long story.
Good to see you too, my friend, but why do you walk out of my ancestral tomb? You know this place is not welcome for outsiders.
I understand. Please forgive me. But when we arrived here, the guards were already dead. The door was already open. I assumed the worst. I entered merely as a means of investigating and possibly protecting your sacred place.
And these people that are with you, who are they?
These are my trusted companions. They came with me. They have been with me the whole way through this journey for the last few weeks. I trust them implicitly. They were merely helping me.
She turns to the hobgoblin at her side and under her breath. So you're a little bit too far away to hear what's happening, but he trots off. Kind of like around the circle and motions for a couple of the other hobgoblins, and it looks like they're going to be entering the tomb behind you guys. Some of the ones that walk out of the group of hobgoblins surrounding you, they seem to be wearing the other like kind of more brownish traditional robes rather than the desert garb of some of the druids. So about a contingent of like 5 or 6, like 3 of them being druids, walk into the tomb behind you guys. She kind of motions for you to, Hathol, come forward. You and your friends, please. But I would feel better if you did just at least hand over your weapons. This is very bad. I'm going to have a lot of trouble explaining this to the other Seps. Please, come. She switches over to common too. It's like, you, those others, come now.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go up. Did she say the weapon thing in English or no, or common or no?
Yeah.
Oh, she did. Okay. So
yeah, she
I
switched
will
over.
present my sword and shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys as you walk out and forward and whatever and are giving them the hobgoblins come up and take them from you, some of the other ones. They're all still veiled and looking at you kind of like sidelong. The bows are still drawn up on the ridge and still very kind of a tense situation. Ital stands in front of you and goes, I need a better explanation for this, Hathol. What is going on?
We arrived in Adis. Harbingers of the desolation were already here. We've been attacked multiple times by them. Here, I have heads for you, and I'll gesture to Ignas to retrieve the null heads from the bag of holding.
I'm just.
You guys took heads? Oh, I thought you took ears.
Oh
God!
Did we take heads or ears? I can't.
I have heads.
We have heads. Yeah, we took heads.
Regardless, whoever took the hammer is going to have to make a saving throw.
Yeah, I was just. Doosan
thought
brings up
Doosan-
a really good point.
What?
What?
Wait until you hand on the hammer? No, so that it's actually fine. So what did you? I don't want to tell you because it's
Yeah, I
gamey.
understand.
They just take the hammer from you.
It doesn't happen every time somebody comes in contact with it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
even
what
think
we were
about
worried
that. I
about.
was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So don't worry about that.
Whew.
I chose him.
If Hathol's actually asking me to legit do that, I'm gonna just roll my eyes, reach into the bag of holding, and pull out one of the null heads.
Sure, yeah, you pull out a knoll head. And she looks at you, and she looks at Hathol, and she nods, and I do appreciate that you've helped in our quest to rid the world of these monsters, but we did indeed follow some here. Why we're here at all. But Hathol, the tomb is well protected. There is no need for you and your various companions to have to go inside of it. Why? What did you find?
Well, we found more
Well,
knolls, that's for sure.
Yeah. Firstly, allow me to explain. In all the years I've been visiting you and been visiting Adis, this was the first time that I had ever seen the tomb unguarded and open. So I maybe wrongly assumed that special circumstances allowed for maybe extreme reactions and actions to be taken. Inside the tomb, we did indeed find more gnolls who had found their way in there. As much as I'm sure it was wrong for me to be in there, I'm sure you found it much more distasteful to have the harbingers in there.
Yes. Were it only my decision, Hathol, I thank you for cleansing our tomb. I do appreciate that. I've had some of ours go take a look and see if what you say is true, and when it is confirmed, because I know that you would not lie to me, Hathol, then we will allow you to go, and you can stay, eat, and rest with us. You all look rather weary.
It has been a tough day.
Many gnolls, then. I know you are a powerful sorcerer, Hathol. A couple gnolls never put you out. And you, large strapping one, used to hold the hammer. You look like you could have handled a couple gnolls. How many were in there?
Enough.
Darien.
Sorry, I got a weird phone call.
You're good.
I'm sorry. What's up?
She just asked how many gnolls were in there because you all look rather beat up, but she was mentioning that you looked capable enough to handle just gnolls.
We've been fighting gnolls since we arrived in the city. This was
Yeah,
the whole time.
We came
Also
in and there was
scorpions.
a party. Yeah, we came in and there was a party, and then the fighting and the commotion attracted scorpions. It's been a constant battle as we entered the city.
Well, then we will see to it that the city is cleansed. Generally, we don't have to do these things for months from now, but it will be good practice for mine. She turns to the side, and Hathol and Hobgoblin, she tells one of her closest ones to basically gather a group, scour the city, and look for signs of scorpion. And so they kind of trot off, and it's like a group of like 20 or so go off in that direction. She then turns and shouts out again in Hobgoblin to stand down. That whatever trouble is here is just friends. So all the bows are like kind of relaxed, and the javelins are put away, and the veils are taken off, and they kind of come down from the stones and from the circle around, and go about their business. Ital looks at you all and goes, "Come, we will go to one of the buildings and have some tea and discuss this further. When my people come out and confirm your story, we will give you your things, and you will be given leave to go as you see fit." As she ends this sentence, the ground around you begins shaking harder and harder. The buildings that are off in the distance, you see rubble start falling from them. Some of the hobgoblins that haven't made their way down from the red rocks yet fall and try to catch themselves or are catching each other. or have fallen all the way to the ground. We get a nice Wilhelm scream that comes out, which is really jarring, and everyone notices that it's a Wilhelm scream, and it's and it's really uncomfortable. And from this point, we kind of the camera, like as you guys are like trying to hold your footing and stuff like that, and like Miara, you're like cradling the small gnome and like protecting her from like any debris that's falling and stuff like that. We get the camera like that pulls back, and we get the whole view of the entirety of Adis. And the ground rises up and takes the shape of what looks like a giant hulking armored reptile. The shell is composed of the redstone cliffs that make up Adis. It's a giant shellback beast larger than the wards of the city of Erdrick combined. It begins to, you can hear its trumpeting call, sand and debris and redstone spewing from its mouth and nose. And it begins to rise out of the ground and plod across the land, each step sending more shockwaves through the ground, shaking Adis to its core. And it's been unsettling the structure, some of them shaking. One of the ones that have been blown out most severely has like collapsed inwards on itself. Hobgoblins are falling to the ground. You guys are like struggling to keep your footing, and some of you are like on the ground kind of holding on. The creature lurches forward, and you can hear its calls, and it's blasting debris all around. Ital looks over at you guys. He goes, "What is going on? What is going on?" And she yells out in Hobgoblin for like a status report from some of her soldiers. So yeah, what would you guys like to do?
Sorry, is that a? What the fuck just happened?
We unleashed Godzilla.
Yeah.
Are we on a turtle?
On Keats.
You guys don't know yet, but something's happening.
Okay.
I think I'll have
Actually,
shouted.
wait, what was the name of that?
Mahan Keat.
But
To see
I'm
if they
guessing,
know.
although we've had the panoramic view as characters, we don't know what.
Yeah, you
we're
guys
on.
haven't gotten
It's
that.
just-
So like you guys, us as the audience, I like to present things as very like cinematic.
Yeah.
Right.
The audience knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys
no,
don't.
I understand.
No.
So
was
yeah, so
Rob
Miara,
asking,
you
not
yell out,
Darien.
you yell out Ma and Keat.
Yeah, and with question, if they know what it
Inflection.
Yeah, sure. And Ital's like, "No, this seems much too big. If it is, this is the largest worm that I have ever felt." And you guys kind of like, you start feeling that like very slowly the city like lurches and moves. And you notice like you're slightly shifted over it from where the sky was just before.
Oh
And then
God, it's
yeah.
Great Atuin. Props if you get the reference.
Hathol?
I know nothing.
Are there legends of some sort of, is Adis home to some sort of beast?
Mr. DM, I don't think this is something I would know.
Nope.
But confirm, no.
No, this is definitely outside your purview.
What are in those tombs?
Ital looks at her and says, "The heroes of our race, that is all."
Were we inside that thing just now?
And then again, like as this is all happening, you guys feel a lurch and again vibrates, and another building kind of like collapses off in the distance. One of the ones that's not really held up so well.
Did you dig a tomb into the back of a giant thing?
Ital, do you know what this is?
She looks around and she yells out over the crowd. She yells to like one of her attendants. Basically, she just says in Hobgoblin, "Find me a druid now." And so he like takes off off into the city where the rest of them had been just moving. And she goes, "This is nothing that I know of. If it is, this is beyond me."
Was there, Joel, on the mural, was there some sort of great beast?
There was a dragon, and then there was a bunch of giants, but no, this was not there.
Okay.
Giant City Tortoise was not on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This was not on the site of whatever battle that mural was depicting. That was not there.
Mm-hmm.
So just a question, and know that I've pictured this right. It's moving the city.
Yes, the city is moving.
So
The episode of Legend of Korra with the first Avatar.
The city is moving.
That's what I'm picturing.
I'm picturing Great
It's close.
Atuin from Discworld, but on a smaller scale.
I'm thinking Titans from Xenoblade.
Ooh, good one.
We're all over the map.
I'm
Yeah, you guys-
thinking I'm in a
whatever works
city
for
on the
you.
back of a giant toe. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yep, whatever works for you guys.
Yeah, no, but like
Um,
giant thing. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Secure footing.
yeah, so you guys are like trying, like you're sitting there. Eventually, one of the druids does make its way over to you guys and addresses you all. Sept leader, I believe I know what this is. Legends used to speak of Adis being a wandering city. I had known nothing of what it meant. We had all been reading the old texts and the old stories, and we didn't realize that it meant literally wandering city. But I believe we might be on the back of a giant elemental. This is all said in Hobgoblin, so good luck. But this is...
Wow.
Yeah, sorry.
Hathol, translate.
It appears, my friends, that the name Adis, the Wandering City, is more literal than we first expected. The druid here.
Are
believed it.
you serious?
Relax, brother Darien. Apparently, we are on the back of a giant elemental, perhaps.
Okay, I'll just get right on relaxing.
Relax. We're on the back of an elemental.
You know,
Your panic,
the last
your
time-
panic,
Pull us into.
your panic aids no one, Darien.
He's right.
It
We have
aids
to try to
me.
stay calm in this manner. There's nothing we can do at the moment.
It doesn't appear to
can
want to
panic.
harm us. It's just moving.
Yeah, and how do you propose we get down, Hathol? We can't all teleport.
Also, has there been any word on whether or not Adis has ever rolled over?
That is a serious.
thinking the same
That is serious.
Nobody say good boy right now.
Are you asking just the group or someone in particular?
I'm just asking the group. If anybody overhears, then that's fine.
Okay, just understand, okay? Adis has been here for thousands of years, and even the hobgoblins are not aware of this creature. So clearly it's never moved in the whole time the city's been here.
It sounds like they were
fantastic,
aw-
so we know nothing.
Well, it sounds like
Indeed.
they were aware, but then they forgot that they meant literally and not figuratively.
So, are there other sites that were home to where the city would land, or some sort of sacred site it could be going toward?
It's actually a good question. Can I figure out which direction it's going?
I mean, it's been probably about 5 to 10 minutes. The way that the sun is, it seems to be heading westward.
Okay. I'm having a hard time picturing the desert in my head. What is west from us? Any particular landmarks?
Desert.
Okay.
I don't know what are you looking for?
Did we
The
come from
waste is the
west?
waste.
Or we came from the south.
You came from south and a bit west.
Okay.
Okay. I guess if there were any oases to the west that we knew about.
I mean, you have a star map of stuff that lies to the west. So yeah, there's the possibility that you would be closer to it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, thoughts on how to get down?
I think we just have to wait till it rests again. It won't move for too long, probably.
Well, under my understanding, it's been resting for thousands of years. So who's to say it won't stop moving for thousands of years?
We'll never know.
Well, if it just keeps moving, we'll eventually come back to the same place. If it goes in a straight, you know what? I've got nothing. I'm on the back of a giant city that's moving. Oh my god.
Hathol, do the hobgoblins know anything else about the city of Adis? Perhaps its history, how it was built? Anything.
I can only ask them. But
Sure. Yeah, you ask and the druid responds, right? In our legends, Adis was built thousands of years ago in the safety of the Red Rocks after the fall of our original civilization when we became wanderers. There's not much more that we know about that. What we have, it's been scattered to the wind, much like the desert itself. Our lasting Our lasting legends are the traitor that lies in the tomb and the mural at the end of it. Everything else we had was word of mouth and has been scattered to the wind.
So what do we do? Do we just wait? I don't necessarily want to end up hundreds of miles from here.
He kind of shrugs and goes, Two stone sept, walk among the desert as long as possible. It doesn't matter to us. If you need to get off, then... He looks over at Etal and can they go? Etal's like...
What of the men... I'm sorry, what of the men in the tomb?
You mean the gnolls?
No,
Yeah,
the party of hobgoblins that are in the tomb right now. Could the tombs have collapsed?
Oh, those.
Etal's eyes widen a little bit and she goes, come with me now. And so she kind of gestures to you and she starts jogging off towards the tombs.
Well, I'll follow.
Yeah. Oh, can
right,
we... No, well, never mind. I guess we don't need weapons.
What are we gonna do with Tessera at this point? Just, like,
Miara's still got her.
Yeah.
Like running over. Got her.
I'm gonna have to hand her
I'll-
off to one of the hobgoblins at this point because she can't be anywhere near danger.
Yeah, that's fair.
We can't
Just-
defend ourselves and her if she's unconscious.
Just tell him to stay by the tomb and not go anywhere unless it collapses or the city does.
A lot
Or
of
the world
contingencies in
ends.
this, huh? Yeah, there's a lot of contingencies in this, huh?
Just don't take my sister anywhere unless it's the end of the world, okay?
Keep her safe. And I'm going.
that's all you need to say. Keep us.
And you just like hand it to a hobgoblin,
Keep her safe. Keep her away from the tomb.
Does he understand
like-
you?
like takes it and looks
I'll,
around. and then-
I'll translate.
Okay, and he like just nods a little bit and then like mutters something to a hobgoblin next to him. The other hobgoblin just like slaps his leg and starts laughing. Yeah, and then
Fully toilet trained.
boom. Yeah, so you guys enter the tomb following Etal. It seems like every time there's a step, obviously it's shaking. You see like some dust and like a rock or two or something will fall from the ceiling, but the tombs themselves don't seem to be collapsing in any way. She jogs in through the tombs and seemingly it looks like she kind of knows her way around it. She does. You see her take note of like the blood and the hobgoblins that are under the net with all the arrows in them. And then as you go through the scythe room, she does take note of all the bodies there. And then you guys make it to the antechamber where the other druids are and the other hobgoblins. And you're kind of all sitting in the antechamber. And like it's like every 10 minutes or so, like another one of these like steps happens. And yeah, and it kind of like shakes the room a little bit and like some dust and debris will fall down. And she goes, and Hobgoblin, is everyone all right in here? Is everything fine? We seem to be moving now. Some of the druids in the room like kind of nod. Yes. The city wanders once more. I had not imagined this would ever happen again in our lifetime, much less any lifetime. These were stories that we thought were wrong, false, or just never meant to be taken literally. But it seems that the city of Adis wanders again.
And do the stories say what might cause such a thing?
You get all three of them are just shaking their head. These are not things that we would know, but one of them kind of like shrugs and looks away. And the one that's been addressing you is... We are more the warrior type than our historians. Some of the other septs are better at this. The Two-Stone Sept is not known for its history.
More
I know is what I know, and most of our history is locked here in this tomb, and you have seen it already, it seems. Etal, they were telling the truth. Hobgoblins had made their way all the way to this room here, and they had fought and... Looks like they died here. I have nothing else beyond this. Etal kind of like nods and goes, well, we will return your weapons to you and your friends Hathol, and you're more than welcome to be on your way, though I do not know the danger of attempting to dismount our new beast friend.
Hmm.
What are the caverns?
The caverns?
Behind one of the monoliths.
Uh,
We have to let them know about what we saw.
Monoliths.
No,
They
Hmm.
like kind of look at each other, the druids.
the door was closed. At this point, they had no idea we'd been through there.
What do you speak of, elf?
We had to get in further.
What do you mean?
I'm just gonna bow out of this conversation.
There was something dark further beyond.
Ital looks over at Hathol and says, Hathol? And Hobgoblin, she barks orders at the other two, or the three Hobgoblin guards, and they go and rush towards where the entrance is and stand there. Weapons at the ready, veils up. Hathol? What is this elf saying?
Now, it's all. Just
Darker?
Relax.
Beyond?
okay.
What is this elf saying?
Okay. The reason we came to Adis in the first place was to find our gnome friend's sister who had been missing.
Yes, I've seen the little girl.
We found her in this very chamber, under the influence of clearly some kind of dark magic, claiming that she had a friend on the other side of this door. She referred to him as Itzy. She was very violent. She was clearly under an influence, and in order to save her, we went through the door.
Kind of looks around, looks at the druids, and druids, what door does he speak of? I thought the tombs ended here. And they kind of look, shrugging, like, I'm sorry, Sept Leader, we are not as well versed in the histories of our people.
Ital, the mural just here, it conceals a doorway.
Her eyes like start widening. How did you open this?
We deciphered the message and inscripted upon the mural. We found the sword of the traitor and opened the door.
The sword of the what did you touch the sword?
Maybe.
She barks another order, and one of the hobgoblins sprints out of the room from behind you guys. Hathol, you recognize it as they're getting more hobgoblins to come in here. It doesn't look like you're going to be getting your weapons back anytime soon. But Ital looks at you. Hathol, sorcerer, you touched the weapon of the traitor. How did you even know? How?
It appears I have greater knowledge of your own civilization than you do. The inscription was not difficult to decipher.
It is not my place as Sept Leader to decipher riddles of my people. I am only here to protect what is ours. She looks again over to the druids. Why don't you know about this? Again,
as Sept Leader, Ital, surely it is your responsibility to know as much as possible about your people and where they came from.
No, my responsibility as Sept Leader is to keep the gnolls in the desolation, and in that I have already failed. So you are trying my patience here, sorcerer. Tell me how you opened this door, and do it now.
Well, read the inscription. Pierced winds never changing with chosen feather of the daughter. It was easy to figure out that the chosen feather of the daughter was the sword of the traitor attached to the statue back in the first chamber. We simply removed it and inserted it into the keyhole right here.
The druids kind of like have all their heads together, and then like one of them turns around. Well, I think we were remiss in this, Ital. We probably should have asked some of the other septs about our own history, but it seems that it is only just a riddle. But no hobgoblin would ever solve it, because no one of us would ever touch the sword. And she kind of just shakes her head. Fine, and I still won't touch that sword. Hathol, you will be escorted to the blade, and you will open this door.
I will need my hunky brother here to come with me, as he was the one who was able to.
Fine, the
Extract
large
the
one
sword.
comes with you. He's the one that held the sword?
He's the one with the muscles. He's the one who removed the sword.
Fine, you, beefy one, come with us. So at this point in time, 10 more hobgoblins have kind of made their way into the room. A detachment of about 5 stays with the druids and Miera and Ignas. The other 5 follow you guys out to go get the blade. Darien, go ahead and roll me an athletics check to pull the blade out, if you so choose to.
You're getting good at those.
Consistency.
Yeah. So again, with some effort, it's still you draw the blade and you feel the wind trying to force it inward. So like as it like pulls away from you, but you're able to draw the blade. Ital and some of the other hobgoblins are like wide-eyed standing there. The ones that are veiled, you can kind of just see their eyes horribly wide that you've touched the traitor's blade. And Ital just shakes her head and goes, "Now, open this door that you're speaking of."
And Darien will look at Hathol, just looking for any sort of improvement.
Darien, do it. If they were unaware of this extra chamber down here and unaware of the foul beast that resided behind it, I feel today we have done more to protect Adis than they ever did in their time here.
Ital is staring daggers at you, Hathol. Just livid.
Ital, enough with the death stare. I've always shown great respect for your people.
And yet here you are in my home, having been into my sacred tomb of my people, insulting me and my people.
I mean no insult. I mean only to express the fact that I was here only to protect your people and their culture.
Human, open the door.
Darien will open the door.
Yeah, so make me another athletics check. You pierce the storm giant chest, and you watch as the door eases its way open. The druids themselves rush inside the room and begin taking in everything that's around them. Hathol, you hear them talking to each other, muttering about why would the other Seps have kept this from them? Why wouldn't they have known about this? Like this is severely lacking on their part. Some of them are like blaming some other particular Seps, like by name, like different druids from them. So you hear like druid names of other hobgoblins that maybe they have rivals with or something like that. But they're just taking in the room. Ital kind of pushes on your shoulder, Hathol, and moves you and says, "Now go, show me. And you, elf, what are you talking about?"
I will show you along the way.
First of all, Ital, I mean, see this creature lying dead on the floor. Do you know what this is?
She looks down. It's kind of just like a blackened burn mark with some like gore splattered across the room. She goes, "There's not much of a creature here, is there?" "No, I do not know what this is. There seems to be nothing left of it."
Well, rest assured, it was one of the most foul creatures I'd ever encountered and was actively controlling our young friend back there.
I feel like I need to take each of your words with a grain of salt now, Hathol. And she continues onwards into the room.
Ital, does decades of friendship mean nothing at this point?
She's examining the monolith at this point. And she's got one of the druids over next to her. And then she stands up and turns around and goes, "All right, elf, show me."
And I'll walk over to where we found that cavern in the wall, or what looked to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like as you guys are coming in here, the hobgoblins all have like torches and stuff because they don't have dark vision, so they all need light of some kind. So yeah, they you go and you walk over and you see the cavern itself, the like 40-foot diameter one that's kind of like knocked into the wall here. And she looks into it and then like takes a step inside and like puts her hands on her hips and like looks around. She kneels down and like brushes at the dirt. and then calls over to one of her other like warrior scouts, and he goes and examines the ground as well. And she turns up and turns around and says, Ma and Keat, 2 weeks old, maybe. Came through here. Looks like it brushed up against the walls of Adis here and knocked into our tomb. Sometimes they get stuck in some of the harder rock, but generally they make their way through without problem, and it looks like this one did, and made a little bit of a dent. So, she again calls out in Hobgoblin, and 2 of the there's a set of 4 more hobgoblins come out. 2 go down to the left and 2 go up and to the right, and they start following the trail. And she looks at you and she says, now, this monolith, she kind of nods over to her druids. They tell me it's draconic in nature, which holds to some of our legends in one way or another, but I had no idea that this was back here. I'm not sure what it's for yet, neither are they. We'll need one of the other, a more specialized druid for one of the other seps to come and take a look, or at least tell us what the hell is going on here. But that hole at the top there, did you see anything there when you had come in? It seems to be missing something.
Hole at the top?
Indeed, you blind small creature, the hole at the top of the monolith.
Oh.
I will not insult your intelligence. There was an item in that space.
There was.
Is now in my possession.
Hathol, show me.
I'll show her.
Yeah, you pull out the orb and you hold it in front of her, and she looks down and she says, Hathol, you would steal from our tomb. You talk about decades of friendship, and yet here you are stealing from us. She holds it and she gives the orb to one of the druids.
I didn't give it to her.
Oh, you're holding on to it?
Yeah, hold it close to me.
She reaches out for it. Hathol, return the item.
I just glance at my party members and like try and get an idea what they're thinking.
Hathol, you feel like a javelin point pushing into your back.
Huh.
I have played nicely for far too long, Hathol. You would rob from me, a friend as you so claim, sorcerer. Give me the item.
Ital, this is an item, as you well know, that I've been searching for my entire life.
And yet
you were not even aware of his existence until today.
It comes from our tombs. At least give it to my druids so they may learn something from it before you do whatever it is you plan to do with stealing an item from us. This is our property, Hathol. Just because you have been searching for it does not make it yours.
Ital, I meant it when I spoke of decades of friendship, and I do not wish to steal from you. I apologize for having taken this artifact already. I will give it to you to study, but perhaps we can talk later about what will be done with this item.
We will speak, but I know what is to be done with this item. She holds out her hand.
I'll hand over.
She takes it, and you know that moment where you had picked it up and you felt like this calming sensation? She gets that immediately, and you see like her hood being like pushed back a little bit from some of the magical breeze from the item, and she relaxes and then looks curiously down at it and then hands it off to one of her druids, who quickly gather around each other and start poring over it. She kind of just shakes her head and she says, come. We will have to keep you under guard for now, but Hathol, you and I will have that conversation. And I believe I will converse with each one of your friends as well. let's go. And she turns and she walks out of the room. You are escorted by about 10 hobgoblins out of the tombs and out into the sun. With the hobgoblin that you've handed off the little gnome girl to, it kind of looks around and it kind of looks and sees that you're being escorted like by all of these armed hobgoblins, and just looks down and just like,
I'm gonna kind of motion toward him. Just come along.
he comes over to you and like tries to give her to you.
No. To her.
I'll
I'll
take
point at Miara.
Okay, like he gives Tassir to Miara. Okay, yeah, you guys are escorted to a spot where Ital has as you're on your way over, she had ordered some large stakes to be put into the ground. So you guys are you find 4 stakes, large, tall ones into the ground, and there she says, "And here you will sit until myself and maybe a council of others have passed judgment on you for what you've done. Hathol, you will come with me now. These other 3, I suppose 4 for the panther, you will wait here." And she gestures out, and there's hobgoblins with like rope waiting for you at each of these posts in the ground, and they tie your hands behind them.
Ital, I will come with you, but the restraints on my friends are not necessary.
I do not know if they possess the same powers as you, Hathol, and I know that they are probably more formidable without their weapons than even with them. No, they will wait like this, thief.
Can I attempt persuasion?
You can certainly try.
Do-do-do.
No, I don't think it's any lack on your part. I think she's just incensed
Just
that
pissed off at me.
she feels so much betrayal at this point in time that there's probably no way that you could convince her of anything else right now. Yeah. So they do you go? So like Darien, you are led over to one of these posts. Do you let them tie your hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Darien, or not Darien, sorry, excuse me, Ignas, same thing?
Swear to God.
I think he would just start having flashbacks about the last time he was restrained with his friends.
Yeah, the only other time he's been close to death.
You and me both.
Okay, look. I'm not leaving without Darien. You don't have to tie me up. I'm not going to remove his restraints. I'm not going to run. You can have any number of guards watching me. Don't tie me up.
You're saying this to like them as they're attempting to tie you up?
Yeah. And
they kind of just look at you quizzing.
It's
Ital?
Ital. Thank you.
Ital and Hathol have already walked off.
Oh, well. Okay, look, yeah, then I'll just keep going on and trying to convince them otherwise. I'm guessing they don't understand.
They force your arms behind the post there. You have much smaller arms, so they don't even reach all the way around, so it's really uncomfortable for you.
Oh, it was nice knowing you guys.
Yep. Behind you, kind of propped up on the ground, they take Tassir from Miara and do the same thing. Though she's unconscious, they just like wrap her body against the post that you're at, Ignas, because you don't take up as much post as other people. Miara, they're going to tie you to the post. Do you resist in any way, or okay? They then stake out Balmiar, and he is tied to a stake further from you guys, but he is also hogtied, like his paws are bound. Does he struggle, Miara?
I'll try to reassure him to stay calm.
He does so, trusting in you, but he is thusly bound and left on the ground. Yeah, so Ital leads Hathol onwards to one of those kind of dilapidated homes at the end of the edge of the Adis town center. And Hathol, you are escorted by about 4 of these other hobgoblins of the Two Stone Sept, and she leads you inside and sits on a cushion that seems to have been placed there earlier and gestures to one across from her. The guards take up posts around the room, and she sits and waits. What would you like to do?
So she gestured to the seat in front of her.
Yep, there's a small cushion on the ground.
I'll sit.
Yep, she sits, or you sit. She goes, "Now, Hathol, while we wait for some tea to clear ourselves of the dusty sand air, explain to me again, from the beginning, why you would believe it in any way okay and acceptable to steal from someone you call a friend."
God, sounds like I'm having a conversation with my dad.
No,
Yep,
it's your
already did
best
that.
Friend.
Good luck.
It's even worse.
I needed that item. I needed that orb. I've searched my entire life. When I found it, there was no doubt in my mind that I would take it.
Hathol, what did you plan to do with it? What is it?
I don't know exactly what it is. It's an item of extraordinary magical power. Initially, my search for this was a quest from Druvani. We've spoken of this many times before.
Ah, yes. Destruction. I had always admired your strength for being able to follow one so chaotic, boundless. And I admired your ability to harness that power and kill our enemies in front of us. The only reason why that you are still alive here after thieving from me and my people. She asked you to do this?
Many years ago, she
Indeed.
asked me to find this item.
I see. Well, for me, that is no exception. You have still stolen, Hathol. And punishment for thieving for one of our own is already the loss of a hand. For one of ours that is not, well, I may not be the one to pass judgment on that. You and your
Ithal,
friends. Yes.
Have
Hathol?
I not always used my power to protect and work alongside the hobgoblins and the two stone sept specifically?
You have. You have. Which is why, for me, this hurts all the more to know that you would never even consult with me over this, but just walk into a sacred place of my people and call me a fool for not even knowing that this thing existed, and yet attempting to sneak it out directly from under my nose. Just because mine and my own don't know that this existed does not mean that the other septs do not. What would happen if I, the leader of the Two Stone Sept, one that has fallen or followed the forces of our evil here, what other septs would come here during the time of celebration to see behind the door, find it missing, and blame me? Hathol, they would not hold trial for me. My punishment would be death.
But Ithal, this is an item of extraordinary power. Power which I always have and always would wield alongside you and in the name of the Two Stones. Your tribes are always warring regardless. You're always trying to assert dominance over the other septs. Imagine the dominance, the leadership that you would be able to gain for yourself with this kind of power.
Are you suggesting that I use this relic?
I'm suggesting you let me use this relic on your behalf.
You're talking about boundless power. How am I sure that you would use it for me and not against me?
I have nothing but decades of trust and friendship to back
And
me up on
yet
this.
you steal from me.
I intended not to steal. I found
Did you?
I found the item purely through coincidence. We were there searching for the gnome girl. We found the hideous creature behind the door, and then the orb was just there. I took it. There was no intention to hide that act from you. Okay, when you first came down into the chamber, I was a little nervous, but I'd
Nervous
always
and lied.
well, the nerves, the stress of the situation. I always intended to explain the situation to you. It was just a tense situation down in the chambers.
Hathol, everything that you say now does not give me confidence in giving you the relic, much less just replacing it.
Allow
Why
me
should
to stay with your set and study it alongside your druids. Maybe we can harness this power and use it for the good of the two stones.
I will have them study it. I do not know yet if I will allow you to help them. Hathol, you have put me in quite a situation here, my friend. She looks up and gestures forward, and a hobgoblin comes in with a couple of clay cups of tea, and she gestures for one to be given to you. Do you take it?
Yeah.
Okay. She raises the glass to you and says, "Drink this. For this may be the last time that we drink together as friends."
Well,
she sips on her tea.
I sincerely hope not. And I'll sip my tea as well.
She goes, "Now, you may finish that on your way back, but I'm going to have these gods take you to be staked out with your friends. I want the small one brought to me. The one that's not unconscious. The loudmouth. The one that always talks when he shouldn't."
Ital. One more thing. One final thing here, okay? I did not need to show you the orb. I did not need to tell you there was anything on that monolith when we were in there. I did so out of respect and a desperate hope to patch this situation up. Just
Indeed.
leave me unrestrained. I will not go anywhere. I'm going to remain with my friends.
She like kind of half cocks a smile and looks at you and goes, "You know that I would know of all people that you, unrestrained, have ample amounts of power at your disposal, sorcerer. That would be a very, very dumb mistake on my part, wouldn't
Use
it?"
your brain, Ital. You have seen my power. What chance does some feeble rope have at restraining me if I choose to do anything?
Oh,
I have no ill will towards you. I just wish to make this situation right.
She kind of smiles and goes, "Time for you to go now, Hathol. Bring me the small one, gods." And they kind of march you out. So they take you out to where everyone has been staked out, and they don't just bind your hands. They place your hands like together, bind those around behind the bars, then take your body and bind your legs and your body, and then gag you.
Hey, guys, you want to read a book?
Yeah. So you're just left there, and one of the hobgoblins kind of like pats your shoulder, and he goes, "Ah, sorcerer, no simple just rope for you."
All right. Let me deal with this right now. This is the second time today I've been called a sorcerer. I'm a warlock, for Christ's sake. Get it right.
You're already bound and gagged, but
Well,
Sorcerer. yeah.
warlock.
Yeah, he goes, and he kind of shakes his, he goes, "You always have some fight in you. Well, I do hope that I don't have to be the one to chop your head off." And he kind of turns around and walks away. He goes over to Ignis and unbinds you and kind of shoves you forward. And then Hobgoblin is telling you something and kind of like takes his boot to your back and pushes you forward towards where Ital is.
Okie doke.
Yep.
I'm just
So
gonna just shake the memory of captivity away.
You're walked over to where Etal sits, and you're walked in. She just looks at you. For everyone at home, like the cushion on the ground sitting opposite is missing. It's not there. Ignis, your hands have been rebound behind your back, and you're just kind of left standing there in the room.
Okay, I'd rather stand than sit on the floor. So there.
Yep. She looks up at you from her position, holding her cup of tea. All right, small one. Tell me your side. Why are you here in our sacred home?
So you want me to talk now?
I do.
Just a quick question: is he within message range right now of me?
No, I think you're
120,
where she's got you.
120 feet.
Oh, actually, just in range then.
Okay.
I was gonna say she's probably about 120 feet away.
I'm just gonna message him and say, for heaven's sake, don't provoke her. We may still be able to get out of this.
I mean, and you could have done it on her and when he was on the way as well. Yeah. Except, wait, what does message take to do? Is it verbal and is it like, is it VSM or what?
VSM, yeah.
It's all three?
All three, yeah.
Okay, so it takes a verbal component, a somatic component, which is moving your hands, and a material component of some kind, which none of which you have access to currently.
Christ. Okay.
Yeah.
Just gonna do this. Sorry, I
whispery.
think Hathol was trying to message me, but I'm pretty sure you had him well and truly bound, so... You want to know why we were here? You have my
Yes.
sister bound to one of those stakes. That's why we were here.
Your
Or at
sister.
least, yes. That's
Is
why...
the elf your handmaiden, then? Is that why she cares for the little girl? Some servant of some kind?
My history has been towards academic pursuits, not so much strength. I can't really carry her for very long.
You seem so valuable.
Okay. Look, the only reason that I was here, that Darien was here, that Miera was here, at least, was to find my sister. Hathol came here as well because he wanted to find a relic. He was leading us to Adis. He said he could lead us to Adis. I took him at his word. We eventually ran into you. He kept going with us because the relic was supposedly in Adis. We found my sister. We had to open the door in order to deal with the thing that was beyond it, because I assure you, it had her in its clutches, and I was fairly certain that even if we had removed her from the tomb, that it wouldn't have let her go.
I see. I have done much for my loved ones as well, especially on any field of battle. I can understand why you would pursue your sister to the ends of the earth.
I would
That
pursue
much
her
makes
beyond
sense to me.
that.
That much makes sense to me. But stealing from my people, you did not stop him.
No, and neither did I help him beyond getting into the tomb and defeating the creature that guarded whatever that was. Look, speaking frankly, I don't care about the relic. I don't really want it. Hathol wants it. I'm fine if you keep it. I'm fine if you give it to him. I don't care. I just want to take my sister and get out of this wasteland and get back home. If I even have a home to go back to.
Understood. Thank you. And she nods, and you're escorted out of the room.
Before I go, can I ask a favor?
You do not seem to be in any position to ask me any favors, short one.
Well, then forget it. I'm not even going to bother.
So they go and they tie up Ignis at the stake again, and Darien, you are brought before Etal. You, the one who drew the traitor's sword. What is your name?
Darien Heroncrest of Erdrick.
Heroncrest. Please, sit. You see a cushion. Again, the cushion has been replaced down on the ground. Have some tea. And a small cup of tea is brought before you.
Thank you.
Darien Heroncrest of Erdrick. Why are you here?
As my lord most likely told you, we came to find his sister, heir to the throne of Erdrick, as well as him. They are of the royal family, and as you may know, Erdrick is currently in a power struggle right now, and well, we're just trying to keep as much of the family out of trouble and alive as we can. And Hathol had promised to take us through the desert if we aid him, and we seem to have tracked her here, and so he assisted us. I assure you, anything that he did, he was acting in interest of the group, I think.
Indeed. Erdrick is a name we don't hear often here. The waste is generally only placed to some of the caravans that come through to try and trade with our seps. I did not know about any troubles in Erdrick, and honestly, I do not care. We have our own issues here, and the desolation before us, becoming more restless by the day. I understand that you follow this small one for whatever reason that you humans follow who you follow.
I do. I am sworn to protect him.
You are of the opinion that you and your friends should be free to go?
I am of the opinion that whatever we did obviously disrespected your culture and your beliefs. And for that, I am truly sorry, and I am willing to pay whatever price that disrespect incurs.
Finally, someone talks about taking responsibility for their actions. I do appreciate that. Thank you. You may go.
Of course.
And so they're escorted out again. And Miara, as the last person brought in, you're brought in. The cushion again is missing, and you are made to stand, your hands tied behind your back. And she looks up and she goes, "Ah, elf, the one who decided to tell the truth. Now, tell me, please, why are you here?"
Well, as everyone else has probably said already, we are here to save the gnome girl. We knew that she was out this way, and we came to find her. And as Hathol had stated when we were out earlier, the doors were open, the guards were all killed, and we proceeded inside to look for her.
Indeed.
We were worried.
Yes, she does seem small and frail, and a little worse for wear. Do you serve the short one as well, elf?
I travel with him for now. I do not have any sworn oath to him.
Now, about the relic, and telling us about what lies behind the mural. Why?
I grew concerned for your people in the city. if you guys, if you as a clan did not know what was behind there, it was good to tell you. But if you did know, perhaps you might have been able to figure out what the issue with the city moving and possibly the troubles with that hole in the wall behind it. That relic was in danger. Your ancestor's tomb was in danger.
Indeed. I thank you for telling the truth when so many of your other companions decided not to.
I find that hard to believe, but I do understand, and I would never put my life in a lie.
Of course. Now, it seems to me that my issue and problem lies with your friend Hathol. My friend as well, as it were, but this relic, what do you make of it, Elf? Your kind have some uncanniness with magical items.
Well, with his response to it, it is absolutely an item of great magical power. Having met with Druvani myself and her intentions, I am unsure of.
You've met with her. You've seen her?
In an unfortunate case, yes, I have. It is
And
how I
you're
found.
alive.
I am alive. I am just as surprised as you.
Oh,
And it is also another reason why I would tell you of this item. Hathol is a good man. He has saved my comrades and I time and time again. You have known him for many years. He would never do anything to hurt you. Druvani, however, I do not trust her intentions. I do not know what she wants of this relic, but I do know that in her hands it is unsafe for her to have it. By telling you and reclaiming this orb for yourselves, you will do what is right with it and protect it.
thank you. I believe that will be all. You may go. And you're escorted out of the room. You're kind of all left to not necessarily rest at the stakes. You are each fed individually at, spear point. But you will not have an easy rest for the evening. The city plods onwards every 10 minutes or so. Then another footfall shakes the foundations. And this continues onwards until night. As night falls, so do the footsteps. They stop. The city itself seems to rumble and shake and settle and stop moving. But there you're left for the evening. Those of you that aren't bound or that aren't gagged are more than welcome to speak about anything that needs speaking about. But Hathol, they have definitely left you in a fully bound state. They are, they know who you are. So what would you guys like to do? It's nighttime. You have some guards around you, but Adis is a city with really high walls and basically one entrance and exit. So they've kind of left it as a minimal guard post. What would you like to do?
I kind of want to test to see whether or not these guards understand common, so I'm just going to say kind of loudly. So after we kill these guys, what do you guys think we want to do? Try to escape the city or just kill everybody or what? And just look for any reaction from them.
Are you kidding?
I'm gagged, but fucking genius.
I really hope you're kidding.
Well, yeah, I'm kidding. I'm just trying to see if they
my
speak
God.
common.
No, I mean, I hope you're kidding about actually
Saying that.
saying that.
No, I wanted to actually say that. I wanted to see if they speak common.
All right.
And you can't think of a better way
I'm not
to do
going to
that.
tell you how to do your thing.
It's like pulling out a gun in the beginning of an improv scene.
Yeah, right. Everyone's on edge. Yeah, it's So, anyways, one of the guards turns and looks and walks over to you, and kind of like puts his spear point underneath your chin and like lifts it up. He goes, "Small man, if there ever comes a time, I will kill you first." And he kind of just puts it down and walks away.
Well, good, because I'd rather not see my friends die again.
Got a certainly strange way of trying to accomplish
Showing that, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, now I know that someone can listen.
Yep.
Well,
Just drive into a crowded place and shoot a gun and see if anybody can hear me shoot a gun.
it's a fair question since not everybody speaks common.
So do you guys discuss anything as a group, or is there anything
Oh.
you'd like to
give Ignis
try
a
and do?
Stern
Oh.
talking.
Geez, I'd love to discuss anything with anyone right now.
Yeah, sorry,
Well-
dude, you're SOL.
FML.
So in
Jesus.
in all seriousness, I did want to just say to Hathol, you just had to take that, huh? I mean, I know your god commanded you and all, but if your god commanded you to jump off a cliff or kill your entire family, or since it's Druvani, blow up the city, I would hope you wouldn't do it. I mean, I appreciate that you took us all the way through the desert with varying amounts of success. And I do want to know that I didn't I think, I can't exactly remember what all I said, lay all the blame for this on you. But never mind. Darien,
Just
how are you doing?
bound, frustrated, and honestly, still pretty terrified that the city is literally walking.
I can agree with that. How's Tassir doing?
And I'll try and look over to her.
Yeah, she's like behind you. It's probably easier for Miara to see her.
I can't see a thing. Can you see anything?
Can I make a perception check to see if like her ropes are digging into her?
Sure.
Cool.
No, honestly, she seems pretty lightly bound.
Okay. That's what I grew concerned with.
Still
She does
unconscious?
she's definitely still unconscious.
Yeah.
Well, what am I
Um,
saying? If she were conscious, she'd be talking.
So, with that perception check, I'm going to like give you kind of a lay of the land of what's going on. There seems to be about 5 guards. Only every once in a while is one even looking at you. Some of them are like off in a corner, like talking to each other. It seems like this is really light guard duty for them. There doesn't seem to be anyone else around. The city itself, again, where the city proper starts and the main road begins, is about 120 feet away from you guys. So it's quite a distance away, and there doesn't seem to be anyone other than these 5 kind of watching you. You do see silhouetted against the night sky up on the highest portions of the rocks. You do see some humanoid figures wandering around, but they seem to be looking outwards rather than inwards.
Not actually saying this, but that would change pretty quick if we did escape. Well, at least we found Tassir. And I do thank you for coming all this way into the ass end of nowhere to help rescue my sister. Miara, I don't think I've forgotten about my promise. If we actually manage to get out of this, I will help you find where your brother is.
Thank you. I
Right.
just hope wherever he is, he's safe right now. And he isn't tied like this or with his head on a pike.
Those are options.
Well, he's a Stonewall. I imagine he's made of the same stuff as you.
Aye. Indeed.
So he almost gets killed a lot?
Not helping, my lord.
I do apologize about telling everyone about all of this, but I found it incredibly necessary for the safety of everyone.
Well, personally, I wouldn't have done it, but we did disrespect a religious site. And upon reflecting, we should serve some sort of penance for it, whether it be helping them with whatever is afoot in Adis, both literally on feet and figuratively. It wasn't right.
Yes, you hear that, Hathol? It wasn't right.
No, my lord, teasing him is not going to help.
It helps me. A little
Right
bit.
now, our biggest concern should be getting Adis back on the ground in one piece, not pointing blame.
Is it though? It's a giant elemental with a city on its back. I feel that's a bit beyond anyone. I don't think there's
Perhaps.
anything alive that could stop that.
Perhaps. But if this thing keeps moving, or rolls over, or does whatever, we can all be dead.
Well,
And
if
in
it
my
keeps
book,
moving,
if-
eventually it would get to the ocean and it would presumably swim.
Right.
That seems bad.
Right. It is better for us to try to figure out how to get this elemental to either stop moving, to rest again, or to help the city of Adis.
You think there's something inside of it? Giant worm?
That's what my concern lies with. We saw that monster inside the chamber. We don't know how it got in there. The tunnels that were behind that monument, that monolith, do make me worried a little. This is why I mentioned it. If something is inside this creature, or perhaps it's the relic that was moved from its post, I do not know. My concern is getting home safe and sound.
Yeah, my best
Yeah.
guess was the relic.
I really wish they had let me examine it. Could have told them if it would stop the city or even let them control it. But I don't think they like me. And I don't
No.
particularly like them, so
There's a chance. I mean, we're all not going anywhere, to be frank.
yeah.
I can't
Well-
help but wonder where that creature came from, though.
The Manan Keat,
No,
the city.
the creature inside the room, the one that we all nearly died to.
Well, considering what it said, I would imagine it's something that devours magic. And that orb seemed to contain a lot of magic, and so it seems like it was simply attracted to its food. Well, Hathol, since you can't respond, I'm just going to tell you straight away. Give up any hope of getting that orb. And I'm just going to try my best to sleep.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you guys rest, sort of. You don't rest well. The position you're in is not necessarily very comfortable. You do get all of your, I mean, for those of you that like just have to like pray to get your spells back and stuff like that, you do recover your spells and your arcane magic and things like that. You do get your hit points back. Half of your hit die.
Yay.
But you are exhausted. So you do take 1 point of exhaustion because you don't get to actually rest.
Hello, exhaustion, my old friend.
Yeah.
And we don't get a constitution saving throw for that?
No.
Dang. All right.
This just happens.
Sorry, first point is disadvantage on rolls?
Skill checks.
Skill checks, yeah. That's what
Ability checks.
Just skill checks.
Yep.
So yeah, the morning comes. It looks like your guard had changed once or twice during the night. But Ital is there to greet you when you awake. And she looks down at all of you. And I've come to a decision. You shall leave, as we will. Most of the Two-Stone Sept here will leave. The rest will remain to track the now wandering city and to study the orb as we see fit. The rest of us will leave, return to the desolation, and attempt to contact the other Septs that are better at evaluating some of the deeper meanings of these objects, and to figure out why they had been keeping it from us. The rest of you, well, I don't feel like waiting for a council. What you've done here is wrong, and she looks over at Hathol, and betrayed my very trust. But you did stop those gnolls from figuring out what was going on and from claiming the relic for themselves. So for that, I thank you. And for that, as she's saying that, she gestures, and you guys are all unbound and handed your things and your weapons. I'm going to ask you to leave. The city has not started moving yet, so I believe if you exit through the way you came in, you'll find it a short climb to the bottom, if my scouts tell me anything true. And you will never return to the waste. She looks over at Hathol. Especially you. I do not know if we will find you welcome here anymore in the Two-Stone Sept. Maybe one day, Hathol. But not with that relic. I cannot give it to you. I'm sorry. But you are free to go.
Well, I appreciate your mercy.
Thank you.
She looks over at Darien and nods. Now, I think you should be going.
All right. And just adjust my belt and start heading back the way we came.
Yeah, so they don't give, there's no guards, there's no anything. They just give you your things and say go.
Yep.
So what would you like to do?
I am personally headed for the exit. Getting out of here.
I'll take custody of Tassir. How is she still completely unconscious?
Make a medicine check.
You know what? I would assume that I would also be interested in this.
She's breathing. She seems to be breathing regularly, but she's still unconscious.
I'll try giving her a potion.
Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't swallow it willingly. You kind of have to, like, coax it down like you would a dog, and she kind of, like, as she's breathing, chokes on it a little bit, but it doesn't seem to change her state at all.
Had to try. Hathol, can you reach her?
I can try again.
Yeah, so you attempt to message, and again, it seems to be echoing around. You feel like... Messages doesn't, like, let you feel like the other person's mind or anything like that. It just, like, you just send a message. You just don't get a response.
No response.
There's no indication that, like, the message never made it. There's just no response. Darien, as you heft your hammer again, you feel Darien, like, ease back into your brain, sitting in the back again. You, like, get this weird feeling that he, like, raises a glass to you and then, like, kind of settles in.
I'll just kind of mentally, hello, old friend.
Yep. So that they kind of, like, let you be. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Is Hathol still there?
I mean, if you'd like to address her, you can. Otherwise, she's gonna leave.
Yeah. Did anyone go inspect the caverns that we found in the monolith chamber?
Ah, yes. As I said before, about 2 weeks old. Impossible to say where they led or where they went before the city started moving. But they both end outwards of the creature. So they just end in, when he walks, empty air.
Hmm.
So she said that the downwards leading tunnel was a potential way off the creature. Is that what she was suggesting previously?
Well, I mean, she said, she's just saying, it goes out of the cliffs, right? And it just, ends.
Yeah,
and
both of them
while the
seem
creature's
to do.
walking, it just seems to end in open air. While it's settled, it's under, the sand.
Does Hathol have any clue where they took the orb?
Yep. Hathol, you got that same old feeling in your chest, buddy. Somewhere in the city.
Can I make a perception check to see what Hathel's thinking?
That is not how that works.
It's an insight check.
No, sorry, insight.
No, I mean, he's just thinking. You're not, talking to him. You're not doing anything.
No, I mean, see if I notice any sign that he's thinking, can I get that orb?
Miara, walk with me.
All right.
Ignis, you don't get anything because he and Miara turn away for a moment.
Okay.
Yep.
You're not going to like what I have to say. But we need to leave, and we need to take that orb with us.
Hathol, I don't think that's a good idea.
Miara, trust me. I have no intention of giving this relic to Dravani.
Then what are we going to do with it?
This level of magical power could be used for so much good. It could turn the tides of military and political struggles. It could rescue people from near death. It could the power within this relic is unfathomable. The hobgoblins had not even a clue what its existence was for. The gnolls will continue to attempt to take it. I can make good use of this item. I can carry it. I can protect it. Help me find and take this item. I will use it only for good. I promise you.
Hathol, I'm just not sure. This city must have needed that orb. And there was a reason why it was kept secret for so long. Perhaps it's why this elemental is now walking about. And if brought on to the right place, the city will settle again. When that orb is on our person, it will attract more danger than we could even possibly fathom. You will be putting all of our lives at stake.
I don't see it that way. I will be even more equipped to protect us and many others. As I've done countless times throughout this journey.
Yes, but we cannot rely on just you alone. Darien and Ignis fell in that battle. We're lucky that they're alive now. If we bring that orb with us, who knows how many more of those creatures
Miara,
that we could battle at once.
I do not mean to brag, but my power has a lot to do with the reason why they are both still alive after that encounter.
As is mine.
Imagine how much better that situation would have gone with the power of that relic.
But that was also just with one. With that, we could end up facing hundreds or even thousands at once. That's not something I'm willing to put the party in danger with. I'm sorry. I cannot help you retrieve this artifact.
Well, this saddens me greatly, but I will retrieve the artifact regardless.
I cannot control you. You are a man. You are able to make your own choices. But I will have no part in this.
I
And if it
understand.
comes to a point where I have to choose Darien and Ignas and Balmiar and Tassir over you, I will. Even if that means that your life has to end. I apologize. I cannot put them in danger. If the others wish to go with you, so be it. But I will not accompany you on this journey.
The others will not accompany me. Ignis has no desire to be anywhere near that relic, and Darien is merely his lapdog. It's not going to happen. I need to think.
You will have a home with us.
I'll just walk away.
Yeah. So where do you go? Where are you walking?
At this point, aimlessly.
Okay, so you just like enter the city and just start walking around. Okay. Rest of the party, what are you guys doing?
Are we just waiting for were we just waiting for Hathol and Miera to finish their conversation?
Yeah, you see the conversation over and Hathol just walks away into the city.
All right, then I'll just walk over to Miera and say, "What is he doing?
What do you think
Please
he's
tell
doing?
me I think he's trying to." And I'll look around to see if there's any hobgoblins nearby.
No, I mean some like with your perception, it looks like they're just not really paying attention to you, but they seem close enough that they're like, you know, they're watching closely enough. You know what I mean? You're still
Yeah.
inside the city of Adis with its giant stone walls. It's not like you're really doing anything here, you know?
Right. And I'll just say, I think he's trying to do a dumb thing. Is he gonna do a dumb thing?
Yes, he is.
What
But
does
he's
he
made
hope?
his choice.
What does he hope to accomplish, though? I mean, we narrowly escaped being imprisoned or executed or what have you. And we've basically just been given free roam to just leave
I know.
and return safely. I don't understand what.
You know, this is in part why I never became terribly faithful, let's say, Darien, because eventually your gods want you to do something for them, and you can never say no.
Are you suggesting he's a fanatic of Dravani? Because I don't believe that's the
He
case.
said that he isn't following Druvani. In this case, he will not give that relic to her. He
Then
says
he wants the power for himself.
He wants to use it for the greater good, he says.
A lot of people have said that they want to use their power for the greater good. That tends to happen right before a despotic regime.
I
He-
don't believe
He will not
He
make it
wouldn't-
out of the
he
city
wouldn't
alive with that orb.
do that, would he?
There's a very old expression, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Even if he has no intention of using it for ill means, in a year's time, 10 years' time, when he's become used to power, who's to say that he wouldn't decide that he deserves this power and he deserves to rule over the lesser beings? I don't know.
I don't see it.
Well, I never saw Hida von Rolls making a play for the city like that, but I suppose I should have. Even if he doesn't use it, and I just want to point out to the DM that this is all in very hushed tones.
Sure.
even if he doesn't use it for nefarious means, you know as well as I that there is no way I'm going to help him do that, and I don't want to be anywhere near this city if and when they catch him. So
I don't agree with helping him, or I don't agree with helping him do it, but I also don't want to abandon him, Ignis.
He's made his choice. He's decided to walk off. I left him the choice of whether or not he could still accompany us. I said he has a home with us.
and
he
he
walked
turned
away.
that down. We are not going to convince him to give this up. People, and when I say people, I'm just kind of looking inward, tend to find something to fixate on, and then they simply cannot let it go. Darien, my father is dead. I saw him walk into the afterlife. He said that I had the potential to do great things, to be the Duke of Erdrick, and I will not throw it away here. I am taking my sister back to Earl Reese's war camp. If you will accompany me, I, as always, would appreciate and welcome your assistance. But I am not staying here.
My lord, I'm sorry, these things you're saying, you were probably hallucinating. There's no way that you would know that the Duke is.
Oh, come off it, Darien. We've seen hide nor hair of him for how long? He's dead.
It doesn't
I've-
mean he's dead.
I don't like it. I don't want it. But I accept it. And I'm not going to wait for him any longer. I'm going. And Miara, if you're not coming with me, then give me my sister.
I'm coming with you. I will not
Then
aid
I'm go-
Hathol, and you have a promise to uphold.
That I will. Darien, what say you?
We can't just leave him here. It's not right. I agree with everything you're saying. I agree that we need to return with Tasir, ensure her safety. I agree that we need to eventually make some sort of a move on Erdrick. I agree that his quest is misguided for whatever reason he thinks he's doing it, or whatever reason what his intentions are irrelevant. But we can't just abandon a friend and leave him to his own devices, because maybe he comes to the realization that his quest is futile. Maybe he comes to the realization that maybe this is wrong. And then who does he have to turn to? The only people in the entire waste that were on his side left him to die. What does that say about us? How can we with any certainty make a decision like that when somebody who is literally put his life on the line spent weeks with complete strangers to ensure that they didn't die in a sandstorm? I don't know what the solution is. Maybe we tell the hobgoblins, maybe we try to convince him, but just abandoning him isn't the answer.
I have an idea, and it is going to be very peaceable, and it will involve a simple question. And if Ital says no, then we will leave, or I will leave, because while I agree that I do owe Hathol something, because he did aid us, and I do acknowledge that, I am not going to put my sister in any more danger than she has already been in. And so if Ital says no to my question, then I will be leaving. And if you want to aid Hathol, then I will be very sad to see you go, Darien.
That's not what I'm suggesting, my lord. I am not leaving your side. I just think that you're on the right track. I think we should find a better solution, or at least give it a try. What
All right.
question would you ask of her?
I want to ask her if I can help the druids in identifying this object and determining what it is, what it does, and how best it can help them. Because they didn't seem to be very up to date on their own lore. So it makes me think that they would not have an easy time identifying this thing. I will offer my services in identifying it. If she accepts, then we will go to it and do just that. And hopefully we will run into Hathol on the way and convince him to stop this foolish quest. And if she says...
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. And if she says no, then I am leaving.
I have one suggestion, my lord.
Okay.
Let me talk to her.
That is an acceptable proposal.
Have more of a discourse with her, and she is willing to hear me.
Oh no, I don't want to talk to her any more than I have to, by all means.
Okay.
If you need help, Darien, I will be by your side.
At this point, Hathol walks back up to the group.
Oh, so you went into the city and then you turned around and came back?
Yeah, I just had a little walk around in a circle, you know.
Sure,
like a little...
burning off some steam.
Yeah,
Right.
that's pretty much what it was. I was fuming, you know. I needed to cool off,
Mm-hmm.
and I walked back to
Kinda
the
hard
party.
to Desert sun, but yes, go on.
Yeah, and I just say, "Come on, dummies, let's get out of here." And by the way, you owe me a very powerful magic item.
Oh, I love it. And that's where we end the show. That's it. No, that's it. I'm done. We're
There's one more
done.
thing. I need
No,
one
that's
more
the
thing.
best.
End on.
I drop the book in the sand and walk it off towards the tomb.
Oh!
Whoa!
That's it. There we go. And that's where we're ending.
Don't you?
I'm done.
Forget about me.
Don't. I love it. All right. So, some stuff went down. We'll have to get together about that and figure out what we're doing.
Oh boy.
Seems good, man. Good job, team.
Aren't your powers dependent on that book?
We're gonna find out.
Not necessarily.
We're gonna find out. I don't think anyone completed. Well, actually,
Hey.
Hathol,
I completed a goal.
did you?
I found my dad.
Yeah.
I said goodbye.
Yeah, I think you
You did
did.
say goodbye.
You did say goodbye. You know what? I'll count it. Takes. You know what? Takes 750.
Whew.
Level 6, bitches.
There you go. Claps for Ignis. The longest living player has finally hit level 6. Here we go. Good job, buddy. All right. So that is now off your goals list for the first time in 40 episodes.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah.
Now I get to think of a new goal at last.
There you go. All right. Miara, I believe all of yours are still the same. Darien, all of yours are still the same unless you decide to change them. You did evaluate to see your health after being in the Thrall of the Beholder, but there's nothing been done about it yet.
Yeah, there's not. I
so
didn't
it's
come
kinda
to
just
any
sitting.
conclusions. I haven't really. Yeah.
Yeah. Hathol. We'll talk about this one. I don't think this will put you at any level marker, so
No,
we'll talk
it
about
doesn't.
the completion of demonstrating commitment to the party, what that's worth, but that is complete. So you've done that. I don't have an XP value for you yet, but I'm going to think about it and I'll give you one. Do you still want to find a way to get back to Druvani's realm?
Nope.
All right, that one is
Wow.
off the list. Learn about the other aspects and history of aspects in politics. That's
Yep.
probably going to become more important to you as time goes on.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to bold this one, and I'm going to take a couple days and think about what that one's worth. But that is done. So you'll have to come to the next session with two new goals. Awesome. So thank you guys. I do appreciate that. Let's do some shout outs. So Rel, where can the people find you at, my friend?
Fuck yeah.
Rel, the level 6
When?
gnome artificer.
I am not being the level 6 gnome artificer, Ignas Erdrick. You can find me at youtube.com/relplays. I am continuing a completely blind, well, 99% blind run of Hollow Knight that is getting into the end game. There's gonna be some shit. I'm taking on some bosses. You can also find me on Twitch. I stream very randomly because I don't always have time, but I stream when I can at twitch.tv/relplays. And when you want to know when I'm live, you really got to follow because, like I said, it's kind of random. You can find me on Twitter at RelLet'sPlay and on Instagram, rel.plays.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And congratulations on ticking that level 6. We will address that over the week on how we're going to do things. Tom, buddy, where can the people find you at?
Yeah, for the start of the new year, they can find me over at twitch.tv/TomLikeAFox and twitter.com/TomLikeAFox, where there's a whole load of new stuff coming. Lots and lots of esports stuff happening. So if that tickles your fancy, come find me in those places.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Roberto,
Me.
where can we find you at, bud?
Oh, places. In about, well, I mean, I feel weird saying this because I know you have your Twitch anniversary stream, or no, your year in review thing.
Oh.
But I'll be live in like 15 minutes on my channel as well. So, you know, if he ends early or whatever, that's where I'll be. But I'm also there on other days, and that is twitch.tv/bonus_stage_Rob, where I stream a bunch of stuff. And soon, hopefully, I'll be talking about my YouTube channel. I'm
Nice.
bored, and I might be doing that again. So
Hell
you
yeah.
know, that's a thing. Who's to say? But I do want to leave my bit on a few other bits, if you know what I'm saying. Happy 40th episode, son.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Thanks,
Get
dude.
me.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. 400 biddies from Rob. Appreciate it, man. All right, Mr. Professor Saccharum.
That's
where can
me.
we find you at, bud?
You can find me at twitch.tv/prof_sacrum, where I'll be doing some more Pokemon stuff, some more Nintendo stuff in general. Over the next couple weeks, it's definitely going to start building up again, considering I have been on hiatus for the past month. But yeah, hopefully things will start to work out better, and I'll see you guys there.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Hi, I'm Joel, otherwise known as Runaway Robot. This is my channel, so you've probably, been here before. This has been DieFall The Aspects, episode 40. You can find me at all of those places over there. Directly after this show, I will be starting the year in review show, as well as picking our favorite games from the year and some of our favorite clips from the year. So that will be starting directly after this show. As soon as we go offline here, I'll be switching everything over. So hopefully everything doesn't crash. But yeah, it's been good. Hopefully we're good for next week. Fingers crossed. I'm out of town, but should be back in time. So fingers crossed, everyone, that we're doing the thing. But we should do this next week. So thank you, everyone. Claps for 40 episodes. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you
Proud
so
of you
much for being real great this whole season, this whole year. This is the last DieFall episode of the year, and it's been a great one. So thank you, everyone, and until next time. Later.
Bye.
Bye!